There is a law written into the fabric of this universe, older than the mountains, more unshakable than stone. And it's this: you do not reap what you hope for, you reap what you plant. Yet day after day, people walk through the fields of their lives, bewildered by barren ground, wondering why their hands are empty. They stand in the middle of winter lamenting the absence of a harvest. But if you ask them what they planted in spring, their eyes lower, their voices go silent. Understand this: life is not a trickster. It does not mock you. It simply waits for your obedience to its laws. And if you violate them through inaction, neglect, or the delusion that wishing is the same as working, life will simply pass you by, unmoved, unbothered, and absolutely fair. The soil does not care who you are. It only responds to what you do. So the question before you is simple and unavoidable. Are you planting, or are you just hoping? When spring arrives, and it always does, most people are not ready. They talk about ambition while their hands remain idle. They dream of wealth while their habits sow the seeds of poverty. They pray for opportunity but sleep through the mornings where that opportunity quietly knocks. The ancient farmers understood something we've forgotten in the age of convenience: that if you miss the planting season, no amount of praying will create a harvest. If the fields remain unsown, it doesn't matter how much you need the grain come autumn. The ground will answer you with silence. That is the law. And it is merciless to the lazy but infinitely generous to the prepared. Every person walking this earth is living through a season right now. And the mistake is believing that these seasons wait for you. They don't. The springtime of opportunity has a window. And the question is, did you plant when the time was right? Or did you sit on the fence, scrolling, doubting, waiting for the perfect moment, as if life ever cared about your comfort? Spring will not extend itself because you hesitated. And summer will not last longer because you procrastinated. Time is impartial. The wheel turns. And if you do not move with it, it moves without you. But let me offer you a hard truth wrapped in hope. The seasons always come back. Even if you've wasted years, if you've let too many springs pass without planting, it doesn't matter. Because if you hear this message today, it means one thing: you're still breathing. And as long as there's breath in your lungs, the next spring can be different. But you cannot meet that spring with old habits. You cannot approach the new with the mindset that ruined the last. You have to change before the season does. Because while you cannot control the weather, you can absolutely control what you do when it changes. Here's the critical shift you must make. Stop living like life owes you something. Stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. Stop waiting to feel ready. Farmers don't wait for a cloudless sky to start planting. They put their hands in the dirt, in the mud, under rain or shine, because they understand this is the price for the harvest to come. And what about you? Are you waiting for everything to feel easy before you begin? Are you standing in the field, clean and proud, but with nothing planted beneath your feet? If so, understand this: life isn't impressed by clean hands. It rewards the calloused, the weathered, the ones stained by the work of their own future. Look around at the most successful people you admire. Their fields are overflowing not because they got lucky, but because they planted when no one was watching. While others talked, they toiled. While others hoped, they hustled. And when the season turned, they were ready. Their harvest was not a surprise. It was inevitable. And this brings us to another truth: every harvest starts as a hidden seed. You don't see the roots growing beneath the surface. You don't see the nights of quiet effort, the early mornings, the small daily acts of discipline that nobody applauds. But that's where the harvest begins. Success in any area of life is a delayed reward. And only the wise understand that patience is as much a part of planting as the seed itself. Are you patient? Or are you digging up your own future every time it doesn't sprout fast enough? Let me tell you something the impatient never understand. The greatest rewards in life grow slowly. The tallest trees took years before they ever broke the surface. The strongest roots formed unseen, in darkness, in silence. And so it is with your character, your wealth, your relationships, your health. You cannot microwave mastery. You cannot shortcut integrity. The seasons of your life will keep changing whether you're ready or not. And when the storm clouds of winter come, and they will, your only shelter will be the work you did when the sun was still shining. You cannot negotiate with winter. You cannot charm it or beg it for mercy. You must prepare for it. And that preparation happens now, long before the frost sets in. The harshness of winter has a way of revealing who spent their seasons wisely. When the economy tightens, it shows who built financial discipline. When health fails, it reveals who planted the habits of care and strength long before illness knocked. When relationships crumble, It uncovers who invested time, trust, and honesty before the storms arrived. Winter is not cruel. Winter is simply honest. It does not punish. It reveals. And that's why the foolish curse their misfortune, while the wise nod quietly and say, I saw this coming and I am ready. If you are wise, you do not fear the winter seasons of life. You understand they are coming as surely as the sun rises. But instead of trembling, you prepare. You plant generosity now so that when you need kindness, it returns to you multiplied. You plant discipline now so that when chaos comes, your habits hold you steady. You plant savings now so that when economies collapse, you are not shaken. This is the art of living well. And it is written plainly in the law of the seasons. Some say, but what if I planted before and nothing grew? To that I say, check your seed. Check your soil. But above all, check your hands. Were you consistent or only enthusiastic for a week? Did you tend to the field daily or walk away when results didn't show up fast enough? Remember, the earth does not respond to occasional bursts of effort. It responds to steady, faithful cultivation. A farmer does not plant one day and abandon the field the next. He waters. He watches. He returns every morning, knowing that though nothing has appeared yet, the process is in motion beneath the surface. So ask yourself this: are you faithful to your process even when no one sees? Because that's where character is forged. That's where the invisible becomes inevitable. But let's take this even deeper. Beyond planting and harvesting lies a higher principle, the principle of multiplication. One seed never produces one fruit. One good habit never produces one good result. In the laws of life, a single disciplined decision ripples outward, multiplying its effect over time. That's why the person who masters their mornings soon masters their days. And those days become months of progress. And those months become years of excellence. It starts small. It always does. One choice to read instead of scroll. One choice to save instead of spend. One choice to rise early instead of sleep through the opportunity. These are the unseen seeds of greatness. And long after others have forgotten the day you planted them, your life will bear fruit, abundant and undeniable. But here's the warning. If this law works for good, it also works for ruin. Neglect also multiplies. Laziness compounds. Poor habits don't stay small. A single day wasted becomes a week. A weak excuse becomes a mindset. And before you know it, you're living a life you don't recognize, built not by intention but by neglect. The law of the seasons doesn't care whether you plant wheat or weeds. It simply multiplies whatever you sow. If you plant distraction, don't be surprised when you harvest regret. If you plant entitlement, don't be shocked when you harvest resentment. If you plant nothing, you'll harvest nothing. And that is perhaps the hardest harvest of all. So, we return to the question that will define the direction of your life from this moment forward. Are you planting or just hoping? Hope is beautiful. But hope is not a strategy. Hope does not till the soil. Hope does not rise at dawn to work the fields. Hope does not defend against the weeds of distraction or the storms of adversity. Only work does that. Only discipline. Only responsibility. The future does not belong to the hopeful. It belongs to the prepared. And so I say to you now, if you have wasted seasons before, forgive yourself, but do not excuse yourself, because you stand at the edge of a new spring. A fresh planting season is within your reach. And the hands you have today, no matter how tired or untrained, are still capable. You are still capable. But you must act. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels easy. No, because this is the season you have. And if you waste this one waiting for the perfect moment, you will look back on this day with the bitter taste of regret, knowing you held the seeds of a better life and refused to plant them. Don't let that be your story. There's a moment at the end of every farmer's year when he walks through his field and surveys the results. His barns are either full or they're empty. But what he feels in that moment, whether it's satisfaction or sorrow, was not decided by the weather. It was decided by the work. And so it will be with you. One day you will stand at the threshold of your life's harvest, looking back on the choices you made, the habits you cultivated, the relationships you built or neglected. And in that moment, the question will not be, what did I wish for? But what did I plant? Let that day find you smiling, standing tall, knowing you did what was required. Because in the end, the great tragedy is not failure. It is regret. Failure teaches. Regret lingers. So plant now. Plant well. And when the seasons change, as they always do, you will not fear the winter. You will stand ready for it. And your life, like the farmer's field, will bear witness to one undeniable truth. You reap because you planted. And for those who understand that, every season becomes a blessing. Even the cold ones. Even the hard ones. Because they know, spring always comes again. And the prepared are always rewarded.